name is Sarah, and welcome back to another episode of Talking Fast. Alongside me, just like every week, is Jacob Morris. Full name.
Wow.
I know, you're moving up in the world.
I almost forgot that was my last name.
You were like, wait, who's that?
It is still Jacob M.
It is still Jacob M. Manager Jacob M. Jacob, but Jacob
and
M
Morris
the other
today.
way. But what are you drinking or eating this
Okay,
week?
Sarah, I'm still, this one is not a snack. I'm going back to
Shocking,
drinks.
actually.
I know. But it's a little bit of a cheat because it is kind of half of a snack. I went, and this is going to be something later on my list as well, but I went somewhere where I got this and it was like a holiday vibe, Christmas vibe.
Oh, gee, I wonder where you could have gone.
We'll spill the beans. It was the holiday market.
It's called the Holiday Market now?
Yep.
Has it always been called that? Oh,
nope,
okay.
It used to be the Christmas market in the Distillery District.
Oh, I didn't know it was called the Holiday. That's why I was like, wait, where'd you go?
Yeah, I think it's called officially the Toronto Holiday Market in the Distillery District.
Interesting. Did you know they charge 15 bones for that thing now?
No, because you only have to buy tickets if you go after 4 p.m. So we went at
3:50,
40, something like that. Yeah, which is actually the perfect time to go. I would recommend doing that because it wasn't quite as busy. Didn't have to wait in a line because most people buying tickets think, oh, it only opens at 4 if you look online. No, it's open basically all day. Got in ahead of the lines, got to check things out, scoped out all the food situations. But anyway, went straight for the hot chocolate at Balzac's. And
I never had Balzac's hot chocolate.
It was good. And they have like their base hot chocolate, but then they have like this pop-up at the market where they do special things. So it was a s'mores hot chocolate.
Yum.
So they're like hot chocolate base, super creamy, super not too sweet though. Like it was good.
Yeah.
And then whipped cream,
Yum.
chocolate drizzle,
Yum.
graham cracker for a little bit of crunch and a little bit of a dip.
Oh, there's the snack.
And
Got
then
it.
they take the marshmallow, pop the marshmallow on top. And I was like, oh, that looks good. Not done. She doesn't hand it to me. She takes a blowtorch out and toasts that marshmallow. I was like, this is
That's
this
an
is
experience.
hot chocolate and a show.
I love that. Was
And
it like a $17 hot chocolate?
Good question. I think it was like $14. Yeah. But I felt a little bit better because not only was it an experience, but it was actually really good hot chocolate.
Oh, good. That's
which
impressive.
is sometimes tough to find.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
that's what I was drinking this week. What about you? What do you got?
So I feel like I go through phases of like hot beverages that I enjoy. So I've been on an oat milk latte kick for like the last while. It's like my go-to staple. If I'm not going to get just like a drip coffee,
Yeah.
I'm usually like a drip coffee in the morning, like before work type person. But if I want an afternoon pick me up, then that's when I'll treat myself to like a specialty coffee. And oat milk latte, the best oat milk latte in the city is at Milky's. We know this. We've talked about this before. But I've recently, I don't know why, like I just discovered this. I was never I'm not a huge like sweets person, so I never thought to put like syrups in my coffee.
Right.
But vanilla in my coffee has become my new thing, which is very off brand for me because I don't normally love vanilla flavored things, but now I'm becoming a vanilla oat milk latte girl.
So added to the oat milk
added
latte
to the
stuff.
oat milk latte because the oat milk is like creamy,
Yeah.
right? So then the vanilla just adds like a little like sweetness to, not even sweetness, just like some other flavor. I think it's just that my palate's like, you've drank enough oat milk lattes, like add something
Give a
different to
little
it.
bit
Like,
more. I like that. That's what I was drinking actually last year as well, except I was like whatever the number of pumps of the syrup was, I was like, cut it in half.
Always. Anywhere you
And
go, ask for half sweet. What do you
It's a little bit too much sometimes, but that's a good one. That's a really
I
good
know.
one.
Adding vanilla too. Groundbreaking. I know. Everyone's probably been doing this for years. There's like sugar-free vanilla and whatever. But like I am just discovering adding vanilla to my oat milk lattes. So
Okay.
it's a new adventure for me.
What about what we're reading or watching this week?
One of my favorite documentary television shows is back. Welcome to Wrexham.
Oh,
Season 2.
No way.
Full season streaming. They're like 20 to 30 minute episodes, which is perfect because like, I don't know. It's just like, they're really digestible. You can just watch a couple, then you can like go live your life or whatever. I love that series. It is just like, I want to go to Wales and I want to go to Wrexham and I want to go watch this team play.
And are they like caught up? Like, is it the previous season that
It's
this
the previous season.
is?
So it's the same as like A Drive to Survive. Like you're watching the season that happened before. So like, I won't spoil it for anyone. Like my boss at work literally turned off Google notifications, like anything that had to do with the word Wrexham because he didn't want to know what happened.
He doesn't know what happened.
So now he does because he watched the series.
But
So he finished
before that?
He didn't. No, this
Wow.
man works in sports media, lived blind. He was like, no, I want to.
What a story.
He was like, I want to. Like he's like, the reason I love the first season is because I had no idea what happened to this team.
Yeah.
He goes, so season 2, he wanted that same feeling. So here I am, like Googling the scores every week, like knowing everything, keeping up with the team.
Can't spoil anything.
And I
on the
couldn't
show.
spoil anything with him. So he had all these Google notifications on everything to make sure that it was blocked. He said one part of it got spoiled because of like a headline that came across, and he was so pissed. But he like told us all, don't talk to me about the show, don't talk to me about the Wrexham like soccer team, whatever.
Yeah.
And then so when I just talked to him last week, but he watched it for the first time. He got to experience like that entire season as if like it was brand new to him.
Wow.
Which is impressive.
Is what's his name featured? Oh no, you know what? This is gonna be a spoiler, so I won't even say.
What is the spoiler?
I was gonna say is Ben Foster
Oh,
featured pretty
yeah.
extensively.
Yeah.
I love him.
I just discovered his YouTube videos.
Yeah. Oh my
Last
god.
night
So
I went
good.
down a rabbit hole. Anyway, so if you're not even like, I'm not like a soccer fan. Like I'm not like a soccer girly. I play it once a week, but that's a rec league. I'm not like really, I never grew up following it. But if you're not like, still regardless, like this show is really about like the city of Wrexham, and like it was a town, now it's officially a city, crazy. And just like the community and like the working class community of it, and how much they love like soccer, football, and how it's like their entire life. So I'd recommend that watch. I think it's a really good like couple watch too. I feel like it kind of has something for everybody.
And it's also, I feel like one of the more, or maybe one of the only heartwarming stories where like foreign ownership comes into a town that has a ton of history, and they actually
do it
connect
properly.
with them. Yeah, exactly.
You will have such a new respect for like Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney. Like it's crazy watching them like operate this, and they invest in the women's team too. Like it's just like really well done, wholesome. They know what they're doing. I'm a Wrexham fan now.
I haven't watched either season, so I'm gonna do this. I know it's crazy.
That's
I was following the
off-brand.
team in the news, so like,
that's off brand, but you'd love the series then.
I know. Okay, that's gonna be my next watch.
That should be your next week. What you're watching.
Well, okay, and it can be because actually, what I was watching this week, I started half of an episode and it wasn't for me. Did you ever watch Squid Game?
No.
Okay, I watched Squid Game. I really enjoyed it. The like narrative version.
Is this the Netflix reality
just
show?
released a reality show that is essentially like, it's not shot for shot, but it's a in real life version of Squid Game, which if you haven't seen it, it's a lot of like do or die competition style.
But in those
to the
ones,
next
they die.
round.
They don't actually kill them in the real ones.
Okay, but they don't. But this is like one of my biggest problems with it. It was a little dark. They didn't change it enough. Where they didn't lean into enough of like the common reality shows that are going to be fun to watch.
Yeah.
It is a little morbid in the first, and this isn't really spoiling anything because this is just the first competition. Excuse me. But in the first 5-10 minutes, they do this like red light, green light style game, and you find out that everyone on the show is wearing like an ink pack that they can explode remotely, and they're like basically killing. It looks like they're killing these people. It was not for me. It was a little too dark, and it was a little too. I also saw a few TikToks. This is what like.
Aren't they suing them too?
The
contestants?
cast?
Yeah.
Okay, probably. I haven't looked into it too much,
I
but there
heard
were a
the
lot of like contestants
Yeah.
clearly breaking NDAs going on TikTok talking about how like the competitions were not rigged, but like were not as they were appearing on the show. So kind of a miss. Too bad because I really liked the narrative version of it, and hopefully I think they're doing a season
Just go
2.
watch them. Okay, first of all, this is why it's like, this is not how the world should work anymore. Like Netflix, how many years ago did Squid Game come out? 3 years ago? 3 years ago now? Mr. Beast turned around his version of Squid Game within 5 months of maybe less, maybe 3 months of Squid Game coming out. And that's like one of his highest viewed YouTube videos. And he did it properly. He didn't have fake blood and tried to kill people. Like he just did it like, he did it, I think, probably the way you thought this show was going to be, like
gamified
gamified,
bit.
but like you make it a little bit more reality, like more fun. So if you didn't like that, maybe just go watch the Mr. Beast version, because I've watched that one and that one is
that
sick.
one was entertaining. That one was good.
I think that one's good. What are you listening to this week?
Okay, I've got to give a shout out. Sarah, you came out to my party that I threw on Friday.
And
Thank
she
you.
loves house music now.
Sarah's in her house music era. So this is actually maybe a recommendation for you as we're talking about hot chocolate, things mediate to consume, cozy vibes.
Okay.
Andre, who goes by Sugar Jesus, who is one of the DJs.
Great DJ name.
He just released a Christmas banger alongside the artist Kysa. So Kysa, he also produced her new album that's coming out. I haven't heard it yet, Apparently it's good. I would love to listen to it. Andre sent it to me. But they released like, it's kind of housey. There's a drop in this Christmas
That's
song.
sick.
And
I'll
it's not,
listen.
and
I'm
it's
sold.
not a cover. It is like an original song. I want to make sure I get the name right. Christmas Without You. Hello, get your tears out and your fists in the sky, because I just came up with that off the top of my head. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what I'm listening to, because as I transition from throwing this like club night party situation back into a calmer vibe, I'm like, let's go back into a Christmas. So this is like the transition track for me.
Which was very fun, by the way. That was going to be the perfect transition into what I was listening to. I was listening to house music. Look, I kept calling it a rave, and I knew it wasn't, but it was just like, I kept joking, like, I'm going to a rave.
There were
and
ravey vibes.
It's ravey vibes. I also think the term rave is just like so 2014 to me. Like, I think of wearing a flower crown and going to Veld. Like, I don't, like, that's not what it was. It was like, I kept calling it a house party, like with house music is what the vibe of it was. And it was a great event. You did a great job. I was like, literally, it was like role reversal. Like, I was like manager, momager energy. Like, Jacob got on the stage at one point, and I'm like, my phone, I'm like going like this, zooming it out. I go, what? I'm like screaming at the top of my lungs, as if not every single person in that room knew you. Like, it was pretty funny. Like, I was like full blown like fangirl moment. I got up onto the DJ booth at one point. I was like getting my shots of them DJing. But it was very fun. And so also says, yes, I was listening to house music. I listened to it the whole day. Like, I listened to the 2 playlists that you gave me. And it was really fun. So I will definitely be at the next one. And at partway through the night, I turned to Jacob. I'm like, I think I like house music now, because you can just literally, like, I'm not good at dancing. So for me, you can just go like this.
Just vibe a little bit.
For those watching the video, you can just like sway.
Yeah.
Like this the whole time, which I loved. It was very vibey.
And you brought a crew, so thank you.
We did bring a crew, and we just stayed in the corner and kind of had our own dance floor, and we're dancing in all the lights the whole time. It was very fun.
That's the vibe. That's
what
we're going for.
It was so fun.
Apart from coming to Just Friends, the event, somewhere you went this week, Sarah.
Well, actually, I just got back today from cross-border shopping. So with Tara and her mom. It's my second time going, and also my second time being asked to pay taxes. So I think I'm going to avoid that bridge from now on.
This
was the annoying part, was like, well, look, every time you do it and you're going for the day when you're not legally supposed to be like bringing back like anything, like you're taking the risk that you might have to pay taxes, which is totally fine. It was like $40. Like, it's not like you're paying like a ton of money. It's more annoying that my entire TikTok comments last time was flooded with people going, I've never had to pay. Oh, well, I've never had to pay. Well, I was like, okay,
it's really, you know what?
Great, but I had to.
They probably saw your first video, and they have you on a.
It was the same dude. We rolled up. The second we roll up, Tara turns back to me, and I go, "We're done." It just like was the guy's energy.
Yeah,
guy was probably like, I don't know. He's like the Monday afternoon shift, because it was like 1:30 in the afternoon that we're going through it. Again, nobody on the bridge. Monday at 1:30. We go into the thing. Guy goes, good. We were getting bored. Like, no. So I was like, I know why you're making me pay them, which is fine. We're just chit-chatting with the border agents. It was fine. We're talking about that car explosion that happened. Like, we were just like chit-chatting. But anyways, I went across the border, got more Trader Joe's stuff. If you want to go see what I got, you can go check out my TikTok. But yeah, I've discovered is that Trader Joe's is all about the dips. Like, they have so many dip options.
Yeah.
We got 3 layered hummus. I got this truffle dip.
Are you buying stuff to dip in it as well?
Yeah. I got everything but the bagel seasoned crackers.
Oh.
And then I got to get these olive and fig crisps. So this is my second time going. So now, like, I knew what things to stock up on and what things like not to bother with. I also like look like I'm going to be illegally selling like chili onion crunch, because I bring so many because my sisters are obsessed with it. So I bought like 8 of them, which like makes me feel like an insane person.
Maybe that's why you got stopped though.
Maybe
you got a little
they think I'm
under
like
the car thing. See if you're duct taping anything to the.
They think that I'm illegally selling Trader Joe's products across the border. Which, fun fact, there was a guy that did that in BC. He had a company called Pirate Joe's in Vancouver, and he would drive across to Seattle with a van, buy out all of their Trader Joe's products, and then drive back across the border.
Where would he sell it? Like
at a store called Pirate Joe's.
Oh, it was a brick and mortar.
And he had a brick and mortar store, and then he would sell it at a store at like a premium price, because he just went across the border and paid retail for it. But still, Trader Joe's is inexpensive. Trader Joe's sued him, even though he actually apparently wasn't doing anything illegal. He was purchasing the products, like, and he was selling them in another country. Like, it was not really anything illegal he was doing, but Trader Joe's was like pissed at him. So Pirate Joe's, rest in peace. He had to stop selling. Is that so interesting though?
That I mean, maybe there's a hole in the market now. You could have Pirate Sarah going across the Rainbow Bridge.
Matey. Exactly. What about you? Where did you go?
Well, I kind of mentioned it off the top, but it was the holiday market at the Distillery District. You know what?
Do you think it's worth $15? Like, if someone goes after 4 p.m. And also on the weekends, doesn't it always cost $15? Despite
No, because I went on the weekend anytime before 4 p.m. I think it's just the weekends after 4 p.m. you have to pay for the ticket.
Oh, is it just because it's like the nighttime, the lights? That's why everyone wants to go.
Here's a hot tip: if anyone in Toronto is going to go, park in the Green Pea in Corktown Commons. That is like by far like 200 meters away, and no one's ever there, and it's cheap. Second, I would say it is worth it this year.
You drove to the holiday market?
I had to drive to another store afterward to pick something up, and it was on the way. Otherwise, I wouldn't have, because it was actually, my house is like 500 meters.
Yeah, exactly.
I would say it is worth it. I've got beef with the Toronto Holiday Market Dior tree.
Okay, I was gonna say, did you see the Dior tree?
Oh, I saw the Dior tree.
Dior
it's hard to
sponsoring
miss.
it is insane.
And not only last year they had like Dior, the big logo in the tree. This year they have like a big roundabout.
Oh, so no matter where you take a photo,
there's Dior in the back.
Why does Dior need marketing?
I don't know.
At the holiday market.
Here's the thing I will say though, and this is actually why I would say it's worth the ticket price if you want to go on a date, it's a good date spot or something like that. Is that clearly Dior paid for that lower rim sponsorship as well, because the market's classy this year.
It's classy.
It's classy. It's good. Like the details are all there.
Really, I haven't.
And
been
in the past,
years.
like several years, no hate to the market, but like it was falling off a little bit. But the market's back.
The holiday market's back, baby. I haven't been in years, so maybe this just convinced me to go before 4 p.m. because I refuse to pay $15.
Yeah, it's good, and there's good food there as well.
I'll pay $15 for hot chocolate, but not to get into the grounds in which to allow me to buy a hot chocolate. You know? What I mean?
Absolutely not. Yeah, and our friends, the Spirit of York, are also out there, so go and visit them.
Oh, we could. Do you think did they have hot toddies or anything?
Yeah, they've got an outdoor bar on their little patio.
Oh, okay, then I'll definitely do that. That sounds really fun. I'll definitely do that.
Yeah. Okay, and something you did this week, Sarah.
Well, we did it together. We hosted Taylor Swift trivia.
Yeah, we
this
did.
Past week.
I only grossly embarrassed myself once.
Well, first of all, guys, like we know, like I love Taylor Swift. I'm a Swiftie, but Swifties are scary sometimes. Man, like the people that would jump down our throat if we didn't ask the question in such a specific way to let, you know what I mean? Like I got scared. I just leaned into it, being like terrified.
They were like, we would get halfway through a question, asking the question, and we were being fact checked before the question was even done.
Yeah, it was a lot. But it happened a couple times last year too, but like I just like was still shocked by it, so it was a little surprising. But yeah, there was one moment where Jacob, so the question was, what is the first song and the last song that Taylor Swift starts with on the Eras tour? So on the Eras tour, what is her first song and last song she performs? The first song is Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince, and this last song is Karma. Jacob had to read the answer though, and I didn't even think about it when I like handed it to you. But he knew there was two answers. You knew
I knew there were two answers, but also the way it was printed on the page.
Karma was on the next line.
Yeah, but it put Miss Americana and
then
the next line was the Heartbreak Prince and Karma. So I read it as
so confidently too.
I was like, and the answers are Miss Americana, which, you know what, people probably refer to that song as Miss Americana.
They do.
So there was no response to that one. No one cared. I said Miss Americana, and then in my brain I was like, because I go down a line and I would say the Heartbreak Prince and Karma, and I got the biggest laugh of the night.
You didn't even say Karma yet. You just
did I not?
You said Miss Americana and
the
the Heartbreak Prince, and there was like a beat of silence before everyone realizes what happened.
And then it was like the loudest laughter, but it wasn't laughter with me. It was laughter at me.
And then I fell to the floor because I was crying, like actually crying, just because I was like, also like, and that was me trying to laugh with you because I just truly understood exactly what had happened because I helped write the question. Like I understood where on the paper, and like it's blindly in the blind. Like I'm just handing you the sheet.
And if I've never read that song, it would be easy, right?
It'd be an easy thing.
It'd be easy to mess up.
Look, it was okay. I just embarrassed myself and gotten fact checked the second before, so like we called it even after that.
But it was a good event, right? Like it was at
Snakes
and Lattes. They put on a good event.
Yeah, shout out Snakes and Lattes. If you go to any of their trivias there, it's like they go all out. Whether it's The Office, Game of Thrones, anything, they like go all out.
Taylor Swift is a combo of trivia and karaoke.
Yes, and people really like. We had somebody literally come up to us and go, "Well, I brought my own track."
No, they like
for karaoke in their key.
Like handed a thumb drive, and they're like, "Hey,
I'm like,
can I do this?"
I'm like, okay. Anyways, what about you?
And they also killed it.
They did kill it, by the way. What's something you did?
Okay, this is actually a big one for me. something I did this week, I took a nap. I know that doesn't sound big for most people. I maybe even have said on this show, I can't nap.
I don't nap either.
It's something that I haven't been able to do. And I think it was like I've been working like 12, 14-hour days for almost the whole week and then didn't really catch up on the weekend. And
did you nap today?
No, it was yesterday.
Yesterday.
Wait, what day was yesterday? It was on the weekend. It was Saturday, I think. And
that makes sense. The night after your event too.
Quick one, but it was
worked?
the first nap, I think, that felt good.
How
and
long
I
was the
like,
nap?
This is huge.
Like 20 minutes?
Probably 20 minutes.
That's like the perfect nap time. I only nap when I'm hungover. And I don't think that's a nap. I think that's just me sleeping.
Your body's just not.
My body's just like, nope, see ya.
I might be entering my nap era.
Excel Gum and ASMR. Search Excel Gum on Spotify now and choose one of 4 ASMR audio experiences. Because everybody needs good study partners.
Our next guest is a makeup artist, creator, entrepreneur, and now has even had a successful pitch on Dragon's Den. Her brand Sol Kyst, which is my personal favorite sunglasses I've been swearing by for over a year, is all about size inclusivity for people with all face shapes, just like the round-shaped girlies like me. I can't wait to deep dive into every aspect of her busy life and her business. Please welcome to Talking Fast, Meghan. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
You've been having the most whirlwind. I feel like you're on like a little press tour, and I just like at the last minute was like, oh, join us as part of it. You've been in the most whirlwind weekend since, for the listeners listening, Dragon's Den, your episode just aired on Thursday.
Yes, it was
crazy.
So insane, but it's so true. I literally like thought that like airing of the episode and having like a party and event was like the celebration, like the crescendo, like great, now I can like chill, and then it's like all the work comes after. This is my first
Everyone
time.
wants to talk to you immediately.
Yeah. Which I didn't know like that was a thing.
So let's go back a few steps, because I mean, I know the story, but I really want the listeners to all know about. So take me back to even applying for Dragon's Den. How do you do that? Like, how did that happen? And then your audition, your pitch, whatever, was a little bit different than everybody else's. So take us through that story.
That it was. So it was the last week of April, and to be honest, I was having like the most traumatic week. I had to go to the hospital, get some lovely like cancer cells shaved off my cervix. I was supposed to be picked up by my partner, who then ghosted my life 2 days prior. It was
Whoa.
I know you're getting the tea. We're getting right into it.
Dive in.
No, we'll overshare with everyone. No problem there. I was going through a lot, and it was kind of like Dragon's Den had reached out to me like a few weeks prior and probably found me on TikTok or something. And we're like, have you thought of applying? You should apply. La la. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to be like the babyest business. I want to like make sure our sales are good, and like, you know, it's not just me like sitting here like, hi.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? You know,
exactly.
you feel a certain way, especially when you come into the business world without a business background. And so I very much just was like, I'm dead inside and would like to feel something. It was the last day to apply, and I was like, what's the worst that could happen? Just like one of those, you know.
You're just
Why
like shot in
not?
the dark, like might as well.
And
Oh
so
my
I
God.
did that. And then it's funny because I've been like replaying all of these things as the year has gone on. It's been really crazy and a really fast time. But the next day I got the call while I was making my I May Be Sad But I Have Good Hair sweatshirt on Canva. And then they're like, hey, do you want to come audition tomorrow? And I was like, have I stopped crying my eyes out like at all in this last little while? No, but sure, why not? So I like got my stuff together, and I was like, they send you a little note thing of like what you need to know. So that was something I didn't know. I thought you just went in there, and I was like, I don't know all my numbers. Like I should probably know my Shopify analytics a bit better, but it's also like I'm more connected with my customer than the numbers. So I was like, okay, I need to study. They sent like all the things you need to know, and I was like, okay, cool. You make your little like 60-second video pitch. You're like, hey, Dragons, and that was fine. And then I went in and I pitched for like 45 minutes just to a producer. Everyone's kind of in an open space. It's really confusing. And I actually asked them, like, I was like, can we move over a little bit? Because all I hear is other people talking, and my ADHD cannot process
that.
That. I was like, sunglasses, hot dogs. Nope, that's
No,
that
that's
guy.
that company.
Like,
Oh my God. It's in just an open
No,
space
it
when you're
was-
doing the first producer
I
pitches.
was like, I'm really sorry, and I've learned to like stand up for like my needs a lot better now.
Yeah.
But I was like, can we just move a little bit?
Yeah.
Because I can't do that.
Well, you're like, I'm already flustered because I didn't know I was gonna be doing this until like right before, and then now it's like there's other people talking. Yeah, no,
yeah, and like the
that's
night
insane.
before, I had my friend over and my mom, and I was trying to do my pitch, but we were drinking wine, so there was absolutely nothing productive coming out of that practice session. So it was like, we're just winging it. Let's go. Let's audition for Dragon's Den. And then yeah, I had to basically. They were like, so in April we'll tell you if you got in. If not, you won't hear from us. And I was like, okay, sounds good. Whatever.
Yeah.
Went back to the depths of despair, lived my life, all that stuff. And then it was the last day of April that they called me. And I was actually in another entrepreneurial course, and I did a pitch competition, which I was so thankful for because I swear that prepped me so much because they taught us how to do a pitch competition, like how to
Right,
actually.
I was gonna
thank
ask,
God.
like, had you been pitching to many investors
No, I've never
beforehand?
done
This was
any
kind
of
of the
it.
first.
And you're just like, who, what, where, when, what?
Yeah.
You're like, how? Like how? I just go, can you give me a lot of money, please? Like that's a set. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's really like it's an uncomfortable thing for sure. Where was I?
And then they
lost
call
my
you.
train-
They call you last day of April.
Yeah, so they called me then, and I was like with everyone at the bar from my entrepreneurial group, and they were like, "Hey, Megan, we have this interesting opportunity for you. I'm really done with CBC telling me they have an interesting opportunity for me." Called my producer back, and I was like, "Hey," and she's like, "So basically, we need like call-ups, like standby pitchers who can just come in at a moment's notice and just like fill in the spot." And I was like, okay, well, I'll take whatever chance I can get. Sounds good. So again, she sent me more things of how to, like, what to know and whatever. So I spent that weekend totally studying all my numbers and being like, oh my gosh, there's an opportunity that I might really be going on Dragon's Den. Like, how, okay. And then it was Monday, and she was like, okay, we're going to have a meeting, and you're going to like give me your pitch. And I was like so happy that I had like done my pitch the week before. So I just kind of was able to like tweak it and whatever. And I'm actually pretty happy with it. And then we sat there and we start this meeting, and she's asking me like some questions just to go over like things that were in my audition. I just think we're small talking, and I'm like, how was your weekend? And I'm like, no, she's basically re-auditioning me to see if I'm
Yeah.
ready for TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not everyone's my friend at all times. I make this mistake a lot. I'm like, how are you? La, la, la. Like right down to business. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So then I was like, okay, sit up straighter, answer the questions a little bit better, la
Yeah,
la
of
la.
course.
And then she was like, okay, sounds good. So basically we can call you anytime in May. Like they were filming for like 3 weeks, I know.
My
And they're like,
God.
we'll call you by like 12, and then you'll be on standby. You just grab your go bag, you head out the door, and like you could be like the last pitch
Your
of the day.
go
And
bag.
did
Like
you
you're gonna go
think-
into labor.
Yeah.
Like you have it at the front door. Like diapers are packed, the swaddles, everything's
Well,
good.
yeah. Did you think that there was a high chance? Like, were you on edge every day waiting, or you kind of just
They
like
just
faded
ignore it.
away?
So I get off that call. I call my brother because he had been shipping my orders for the last like few months at that point. And I said, we don't have the new inventory because you have to make like PR packages for the Dragons.
Right.
So I was like, I need you to just, I'm going to call an Uber, just get in the car and just come to the city. I don't care. It's an hour away. Like I was like, we have to be prepared. We have to make everything work. Now my brother's significantly younger than me, and we ended up just having like a nice night. We were connecting. He was open. When a man is open, I'm going to take
Yeah,
that
you're like,
opportunity.
this is
I'm
rare.
like, tell me all of your things. So I was doing like the older sister thing, and then that was fine. But then we woke up, and I had 3 missed calls on my phone at 8 a.m. And I was like,
Unreasonable though, because like who actually wakes up that early if they don't have to? I work at the
I'm an early
CBC and I
riser.
don't even wake up at 8 a.m. to go to work.
You
so
texted me at 8:30 today, and I was like, I'm not getting back to this until
You're
9.
wild.
Yeah.
yeah, like she's good. But yeah, so I called them, and they're like, hey, Megan, we have an opportunity for you to pitch today.
Right
and
away.
I was like, what do you mean? And they
oh
were
my
like,
God, thank God you had your
"Can
brother
you-"
drive all those glasses down
Well,
there.
that
Yeah.
too. And this is why I did it, because I was like, but my thought was like, if they call me by 12 and we're the last thing, even if we're talking the night before, we can do it in the morning, we can make it work,
Yeah.
whatever. So I was like, is there another chance? Like, do we really
Or
have
oh,
this
is
it,
this
or-
like it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
They're
true.
like, so can you just be here by 10?
Wow.
And I'm still like, was this on purpose? Like, because I know it's a business
Trial
show,
by fire.
but is it a like we know it's also a reality show.
Interesting. Like, is
So-
it kind of like to see like if you actually can do it
She
under pressure?
decided
Or
I
if you're
have
you're-
ready,
no
and then-
clue. and I have no like too many speculations, but it's just like a thought that crossed my mind. Like, is this on purpose, or did someone just not show up and they were just trying to fill the spot?
Yeah.
You know, and that's just my imagination, like wanting the more glamorous story.
Of course.
And either way, you had to go in and do it.
Literally. So I literally like got my hair and makeup done. And the whole part of my pitch is that I'm a makeup artist. You can't just show up with your hair in a bun from sleeping. So I was like, oh no, like hurling, trying to do everything. I like run to my brother. I was like, pop this Adderall. I'll take my Concerta. We got to get this done. Like double up on the dose. I don't care. It is time to
whatever
shine.
we have to do.
Like whatever we're doing. And like he did amazing. He packed everything. Actually, he just threw everything in the suitcase and was like, well, you'll
Good
deal
enough.
with it.
You'll
Yeah,
figure
yeah.
it out.
He's like,
when you're
here's some
there.
boxes, here's some glasses.
Oh my God.
We'll deal with it. And like I was like, okay, I don't even know what I'm wearing. I don't know what I'm doing. So I just threw it all in the like my set bag because I was like, listen, I know the film and TV world. I'm gonna get there and sit around for 6 hours and no one's gonna talk to me.
Well, that's the nice thing is that because you've worked in that world, at least you like it's not like you knew you'd be like 10 a.m. and then you'd be pitching half an hour later. Like you'd be sitting around for
Except I pitched 10 minutes before when I walked in the door.
wait,
0 time
No,
waiting
I'm
around.
serious.
just
I
kidding.
was like,
Everything you know about film and TV out the window.
You know what? I'd
Absolutely.
almost shout out Dragon's Den then because like that's a production that's on time.
truly wild. I was in the door. I was like setting up my stuff. The props department came. They just took my stuff. So I didn't even see like what the table looked like, what anything looked like.
Wow.
And
Oh,
then
they
I
set
didn't
it up
even
for
change
you.
because again, I had my stuff with me. All I did was curl my hair, put my eyelashes on in the car, and was like, I'm just gonna get there and we'll deal with it when we deal with it. And then when the producers come in, she's like, is she not ready yet? And I'm like, and again, I'm a call up. I'm not gonna take any extra time from someone. So I was like, I don't need to change. It's fine. Just let me do my lip gloss. I just want to do my lip gloss and we're good to go. And like they literally just like mic me and I'm like looking at my phone and I'm like, hi Dragons, my name is and you
my
have one
God.
chance to do your pitch.
You only get one. Oh, they don't. So I was gonna be one of my follow up questions. That
Yeah.
do they let you like re-ask anything or
No.
anything? No.
So you
How long was the whole pitch
Yeah.
in total? Like, I mean,
about an
because
hour.
oh, it's that long.
It's so long. You see
Is it a lot of
7 to 8
questions?
minutes.
Like, is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a lot. So like I was shocked when I saw my edit. Like bless my editor. That was
Yeah.
a great edit.
You
I
got
was
an
like,
unreal edit.
unreal
I
edit.
thought the exact same thing. I was like, this is a like there's a lot of bad edits. Like no. You got a really good.
I was
edit.
like, they like me good because, and they give you like a media like bit of stuff to share prior. And even when I opened the one, I was like, all the dragons are smiling. Okay, I'm getting a good edit. And then the other one, I was like, there's sentimental happy music. Okay, I'm getting a good edit.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
you get
that's
those
true.
things. And I was like, okay, I can breathe a little bit. And then when I saw it, I was like, I need to friggin' text one of my producers and just be like, you
is
are
it one
the
of those
best.
things that like makes it because it isn't because like if you did go in and you actually only had 7 minutes to pitch, that would be like another anxiety inducing thing. But does it you calm like and fall into it at all in the hour, or is it just like pure anxiety and stress for that entire hour you're in the room?
So I absolutely say like I blacked out because I
Yeah,
was
of
in
course.
so like intensity. But I will say like I did my pitch. Basically, you walk in, you hit your mark, and you're like, okay, cool. Then they go, okay, now you're gonna walk in, and then it's gonna go. You don't see any of the cameras. And like again, as a film person, I was like totally like peering around the room. being
Yeah,
like,
to be like, where are they?
cameras?
Where are they?
I didn't see any. The only ones I saw were like people just like in the very background would like I would see
Yeah.
them pop through the pillars, but they're far. So I'm like, why are your close-ups so extreme? Like, what lenses are these? And this is very unnecessary. Like some of the extreme close-ups.
Yeah,
I'm
where
like,
they're like right in your face.
right in your face, but you don't see it at all. So it is kind of nice because you don't see the cameras, you don't see any of the crew. So you very much feel like you're just with the dragons. However,
cool.
they're like in a row in their like thrones with like a spotlight on them.
And that's
and
set.
Also
everything's
a
dark.
little intimidating. Like,
That set is insane. The new Dragons,
It's
they
really
changed
cool.
it like a couple years ago. Like
Yeah.
I've only snuck up there once to see it, and I literally walked out and go, "What?" Like it's insane. It's a
really-
stunning set.
It's gorgeous.
I think it's the nicest set out of any of the like Shark Tank whatever equivalents.
No,
Like,
it is. It's really like
beautiful.
aesthetically well done, and like it looks so good on TV. And to think like it's so huge in real life,
Yeah.
it's huge. Like I was
It's
trying to explain this
massive.
to people. I'm like,
I
no,
know.
it's huge. It's not a room. It's like
It's huge.
a stadium. Like
The way I always explain it to people is that studio used to be used where they would like bring in like live
Yeah, the
elephants and
elephants.
stuff. So like
Oh,
the
really?
first thing I say is like, yeah, there's an elevator behind 42 that has
Yeah.
like it's able to hold 2 elephants. Like that's how large it is. So then that gives you the context of like how large the studio had to be at the time. And it's also on the 10th floor. It's on the top floor of the CBC, which is a really interesting part because it's like you wouldn't think of a room that big would be up there. Anyways, that's just me giving insider information. So after you've pitched, like what's like the first thing you do?
You just stand there and you go, well, first you go, dragons, look at the things that we brought you.
Yeah.
And then they look and then they like make little comments and the camera does little close-ups on them. And that's when Vince like blew a kiss to the camera, which I laughed so hard at. And then they just go into it. And when I tell you, they talk over each other and they just go for it. And you're like, at one point I was like, okay, you stop. What did you say? Like, because you kind of have to direct it because it's like so overwhelming. And
that's
like
crazy.
Yeah.
An hour? I just am shocked that it's an hour long. I just, in my brain, assumed it'd be like 10 minutes in and out.
And then, so going into the pitch, I know like it sounds like a kind of a crazy experience to even get there and be able to give your pitch. And I know that it also kind of sounded like a bit of a whirlwind of why you even applied in the first place. But in terms of what you were looking for from being on the show, so how was the whole experience being on the show? Do you think that you got what you wanted from it?
Yeah, no, I absolutely loved like the whole experience from the start to the end. I will say I exploited it in every chance I got.
As you should.
As you should,
Yeah.
100%. And what I will tell you, especially if you're a woman in business who can't answer all the questions sometimes people ask you, when the whiskey bros are talking to you and you say Dragon's Den, they just give you respect. And it's so nice to be like, all right, good, we're on the same level. You're not like annoying.
Yeah.
As the does the PR from Dragon's Den like live up to like the hype of it too? Like the amount of
Get
like
the little
eyeballs
bump.
that you get, and, like the bump that you get. Like you were only in you're coming off your first weekend post the show airing, but is there like noticeably more people in your emails, more people like signing up for like your newsletter or like any of that stuff? Like, is it noticeable?
Definitely. I would say like for sure there's a sales bump, which is like awesome.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, definitely. But I would say you get a lot of people. Like I was really surprised at how many like really thorough, long-winded emails we get. And it kind of goes back to like when I started the brand and people were like, oh my gosh, like I haven't been thought of and now I'm being thought of by you. This makes me feel beautiful and amazing. And it's like the same people, whereas like I had someone who's like, I'm like 70 and I've never had glasses that I love and like they've always hurt me. Because we always say it's not just about fashion, it's also about function. If your glasses are too small, you get tension headaches and it's not nice. So it goes way past just fashion, but it's the inclusivity and the accessibility piece as well. So when people reach out, like that's incredible. Definitely our socials have done really well. My reels, like I'm like, oh, okay, Instagram algorithm come through.
They're like, they love Dragon's Den.
I'm like, yes. I was like, we're gonna make more content. Like
exactly.
But yeah,
We've talked about this on the podcast previously, and I forget exactly which episode, but we were talking about Brandy Melville and like the basically one size fits all in fashion and other industries is something that like is so wild to be an old school. So maybe can you talk a little bit about like the backstory of why you wanted to create the brand in the first place and how important, I guess, inclusivity of size is important?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first I'll add that like we started with wide faces and now we're bringing in every SKU into 3 sizes. Oh, wow. So yeah, I know it's a big jump.
Oh, that's so exciting.
It's really, really exciting. So I keep saying I'm the Goldilocks of the eyewear industry. It really works. I was gonna be Goldilocks for Halloween and do like a whole photo shoot, but you know,
I'm gonna do it next year.
I know. I was like, also like we have the yellow corset. Why not just do it now? It's a really cute costume. But yeah, no, I think the size inclusivity part is not even like a feature of a brand anymore. Like it's just necessary. It's just our world is so all about size inclusivity, and we're moving forward in it. I wouldn't say like we're absolutely killing it by any means, but we're moving in like steps, and it's become definitely like the standard across the board. But what I find so interesting, and again, pitching to so many investors in the last little while as I have, I've had so many people go, wait, but like faces aren't really that different. I'm like, look around you. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I was a makeup artist for 10 years. I've had thousands of women in my chair. Yeah. Like the difference in a lot of brands out there who do like size inclusive sizing is 2 millimeters. And I'm like, 2 millimeters. Ours like now is going to be 26 millimeters difference between the sizes. So a good like almost 3.
Yeah.
That's a big difference.
But like,
no, it is, but it totally matters. And it's like our faces, I don't know. It seems so crazy to me because it's like you close your eyes and think of all the people you know. They all look wildly different.
Yeah. Well, I even like think so. The way that like I came onto Sol Kyst was because I had like had this like one pair of sunglasses I loved. They were from Nordstrom, and I can put them on blast because they were like they don't exist anymore in Canada. Anyways, they're from Nordstrom. They're like these like little like cat eye ones. And then Meghan comes up to me at an event and goes, I see the sunglasses you wear. She goes, trust me. She goes, I own an eyewear brand. Please. Yeah, you did. And you were like,
would
look,
never.
I'm also a fellow round face girl. Like, you have a round face. Like, trust me, I just trust me. I'm going to send you like some of my sunglasses, and it'll work. Like, and you basically, it was like a Dragon's Den pitch. I'm kidding, but it was like it was like, you just came up to me. I was like, okay, great. If she's this
bar.
no, but literally, but no, 100%. But it was like, whatever. I'm like, if she's this confident in her business, like, sure, I'll try anything, like whatever. And literally, like, they are my favorite to the point where, like, drunk on a pedal pub in Nashville, I dropped them off the pedal pub. I then run off the pedal pub, which the guy yelled at me. So I was like, I need my sunglasses. And then I picked them up and the lens was popped out. I sent Meghan this photo of me drunk on the pedal being like, I just dropped them. She goes, I'll have a new pair for you before you even came back. And then like by the time I arrived, they were back. But it was the first time that I was like, oh shit, I actually like, it was one of those things that I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
I wasn't like buying sunglasses that fit me. I always naturally went for larger frames.
Yeah.
But as you always talk about, in your pitch, it's different because you're a makeup artist. You understand like the contours of a face and how to like lift the face and everything. And just like the way it all lifted it was just something I'd ever experienced before. And so it was the first time I ever had them. And then now I only wear Sol Kyst sunglasses. And this is not an ad. It's just straight up the truth. And even like those ones that are like those trendy, like the ones that
like skinny, like
like
yeah.
they're
They're
Matrix
actually
style.
my favorite style.
So
which I thought I would never wear.
So same, because they were all so tiny and made like, I don't know, made everyone look like mousy almost, like they just like, or like people like that have like round faces or whatever, wider faces. And I never was confident in them, and I wore them first time in New York. And my friends kept going like, you need to wear these all the time. Like, these are your sunglasses. I'm like, great, they don't hit my hat when I put them on my head. This is amazing. Yeah, sure.
That's also a thing. You learn a lot about like what people look for in certain things, and that is
a thing.
It's a real thing.
It's a thing. Not wanting like the brim of it, but it's so back to your point of talking about like how people, if you don't know, you don't know, right? So it's like,
Totally
if it has
agree.
never been made accessible to you before, then like, how are you even supposed to know? Like, I had no idea that there was a world where I wasn't wearing like sunglasses that necessarily were flattering for me. What is like the next step that you want to do after this though? Like, what's like, so you've done Dragon's Den. You're doing now 3 sizes that are going to come out, which is a crazy jump for each of your
It's
styles.
a crazy jump.
That's a crazy jump. So when's that coming? Is that like...
So I actually have quite a few coming in like next week. They were
Oh my
supposed
God.
to be here for Black Friday, but you know, life
Yeah,
is life.
it's life is life, and it
So we are going to be doing a pop-up for like, we had way more Toronto people come out that I thought in like the fan base, which was awesome. So I was like, everyone's like, when can I try them on? How can I do this? No. So we are organizing a pop-up for mid-December.
Oh, exciting.
So that'll be like really nice to actually introduce the 3 sizes, because it always blows my mind. Like, we've been, you know, relatively successful, but it's an online brand. And for me, like, I would never buy glasses online. Like,
No, there's
trying.
something you have to like
There's
put
such a-
on in person.
yeah, and they like, even when I see people, so we did the women's show a few weeks ago, and it was the first trade show. So I saw a lot of people try products on for the first time, and it was so cool. I was taking so many like mental notes. But the way things fit people versus like even what they liked was also different. Like, I was like, oh, these fit you so well, but it wasn't their essence or it wasn't their vibe. And like my friend actually, Maria, she was like, yeah, sunglasses are kind of like a perfume. Like, you have to try them. They could work for someone, may not work for you. And I was like, okay, yes,
like,
like
notes,
it's a good
thank
scent,
you.
but like it
Yeah.
made sense. So it's
that.
true.
Well, that's also
Sunglasses
just,
are
like-
really personal. And
Yeah,
eyewear.
and that's important for size inclusivity as well, as just like having options of how you want to express yourself as well.
100%.
So we've talked about how you are a makeup artist, and that was like a big part of the reason why the brand was started. But kind of give us the origin story. Like, how long has Sol Kyst been around, and especially since like you've seen such massive growth in the last little period.
Yeah, for sure. So we're a little COVID baby, which is so many entrepreneurs, which is so cool to me, because I think like you can take something not so great and, you know, do something with it. It's lovely. But
course.
that's definitely how it started. So it was, I remember like I was at RBC, I was doing some exec headshot. And I just remember the people being like, okay, everyone has to go home. And I was like, what is going on? Also, their execs were home like 3 weeks prior to this. This was just like the public shutdown of everything. So like, it's so interesting how like the people who need to know things, they know things.
Yeah.
So side tangent, but I found it so interesting. They're like, yeah, no one's been in the office for like months, like none of the execs. Anyway, so they just come in for this headshot, whatever. But basically, yeah, I had gone home and I was like, okay, I've been a freelancer for 10 years. I have no EI. I have no benefits. I don't know what I'm going to do. And what I like to say is when you have a million things, what do? You ignore all your problems and you head to the beach. And so I was with my friend and we were sitting on the beach, and I remember like having my cute little swimsuit, my little cover up, and, you know, like feeling all cute, except for the fact that I had these stupid glasses that made me look like John Lennon. And I remember just thinking like, I'm with my friend, I'm supposed to listen to what she says, we're supposed to be connecting, we're supposed to have this, but I was having this stupid insecurity and it was bothering me because I couldn't even like focus on the conversation.
Yeah, of course.
And then you're just like, this is so shallow, I don't like this about myself. And you're like kind of like deep diving into just like a shame spiral. And then I was like, well, listen, if I was wearing shoes or pants that were a different size, someone would just say, go get a different size. Like, it's not complicated to do. But you can't do that with glasses. And so, as I like to say, the magical waters of Woodbine Beach just washed up and touched my soul.
Shout out the East End.
Right? I was like, okay. And then I just had this, at first it was like, okay, like I could just like make my own sunglasses and that would make me feel good and whatever. But I also had like a YouTube community back then when I did like square face makeup, wide face makeup. And so I did know like people had been bullied for their face shapes, and I hate this and I hate that they put this in Dragon's Den. I hate the vulnerability side, but like it happens. And I'm like, why are we being bullied for the bones in our face? Like that's something you so cannot control. I had one time this Korean plastic surgery place come into my DMs and offer me a partnership to break the bones in my face and give me a V-chin. It was, it's like extremely like.
That's a thing that.
I know. Well, that too.
First of all, that shouldn't be a thing. Second, that's
But also
so
just, like,
inappropriate to reach out to somebody
So
to do that,
inappropriate.
because
Like
it's
I've
like
had
that's
the people say Botox, and I'm like, listen, fair, but like to say like I want to break your face.
Yeah, that's wild.
It was just so intrusive, and it like really made me realize like, wow, there is such like a beauty standard that people are so about, and I think it's so ridiculous. And again, being a makeup artist, you see all sorts of beauty in faces, shapes, colors. Like I love it all. It's like truly my favorite thing. But like all of that happened, so I knew I had a community who would like kind of stand by this. And it's funny because I've never introduced it to YouTube. No one I just dipped off YouTube and no one knows why. And it's because
you're too busy making like another business. Like, I'll see ya.
I know people are like, oh, so there's a crossover, like you just brought it to your audience. I was like, no, there's been zero crossover. Like I didn't even share my business page on my personal Instagram till almost like 2 years in. And it was just all built in the back end. But basically, like I went home, I have ADHD, and I went just so ham and like, how do I do this? I wanted to like prototype, start designing everything. And then it was like fast forward almost a year later, it was March. I got my first prototype in, and I just was like, I'm going to show TikTok. I'm really excited. I drew this like little thing. I figured out how eyes work, how glasses work. I knew I didn't just want to make like a crappy pair of plastic glasses. I wanted to know exactly what I was doing, like learned so many different things. And like, it's COVID, you have time to. So like, you know, it was good. It worked well. I swear COVID went in a blink of an eye because I just was so in just in it. But I shared this prototype on TikTok, and like, you know, definitely not viral in today's world, but 120,000 views in a week. And it was more so the comments of people going like, I need this, give me, please. Like
because it doesn't matter like how many views if like that community that you've been like looking to serve
just, like,
finds
find
it. Exactly.
And like TikTok at that time, like the algorithm, was so good. It just like found you who you needed to find.
Exactly.
And so it just took off. And then I was like, okay, I don't have like even a landing page. I need to like capture people's attention and interest. I just was excited to show a thing. So I was like, okay, make a landing page. So I did that. By the end of the weekend, we had like 1,200 email signups. And I was like, oh my gosh, like it just kept coming in. And I was like, this is crazy. And then like a few days later, after I made like a Shopify pre-order and was like, okay, we'll pre-order a 3-month pre-order, like not one that feels comfortable, but we did over $10,000 in revenue in 24 hours.
Wow.
So like, you're just seeing like, wow, there's really a need for this. Like this is actually amazing.
Like you saw the gap in the market, literally.
I know you mentioned your brother earlier in terms of like these days packaging and whatnot around the pitch, but like, were you doing everything yourself?
Oh, I did everything up until end March.
So you're learning.
It was right
March of this year.
Yeah, March of this year.
Every role that you find out needs to be filled. You're like,
I'm
gonna learn a new
sunglasses.
skill.
And like we were writing the thank you cards, and at the beginning I was also putting like, you know, little crystals and writing affirmation cards and being like, you know, I was having so much fun with it, but it totally is unsustainable. You're really trying to like grow and scale a business. And like, I think it's incredible because we've been able to ship like globally and like build that community. Like we've shipped to now 40 plus countries, which I still am like,
amazing.
That's crazy. I was like, I don't even know if I can name 40 plus countries.
It's like, can I name the 40 countries?
I was like,
maybe not.
I've learned a lot of countries I really didn't even know existed. But there's a lot in Europe. They're very tiny.
Yeah, that's true.
My map is just like
all these little ones.
But yeah, now it's been like 2.5 years, and it's just like this little COVID art project that's just still happening.
That's now been on national television and
know.
is shipping to over 40 countries. And I
Incredible.
think what the thing that's really cool for me to hear is like, because obviously like I knew you in person first, like that's how I learned about the brand. But then like most people hearing about it from social media. But then now like I wouldn't even think about this because like but this new audience from Dragon's Den isn't necessarily like the people that are like our age that are buying, but you're right, like finding out that there's like this 75-year-old woman probably in like Saskatoon who's like never had a pair of sunglasses that made her feel confident, now she can buy them and otherwise would not know if you didn't have that as like a platform, which is something that's really cool.
No, it's really interesting, and it's really cool that different mediums can bring in different audiences.
Of course.
And then you realize we're just like all here just for like self-love and confidence. Like that's the root of it all, and I just think that's like awesome.
And making you feel like, as you said in Dragon's Den, a bad bee.
Yeah,
Because they won't let you say bitch, I'm guessing.
yeah. No, I asked about that one. I was swearing my absolute face off. Like, so I've seen this, like the guy who does the mic.
Yeah.
I've seen the audio dude like 5 times in the last like little while, and he's always like, hey, and I'm like, you've heard me say so many words.
So many words.
So many words.
In an hour, it'd be hard not to swear. I don't think I ever
Well, I
go
was
through
gonna
the
say
hour
I
recording.
totally forgot, but off the top, that was one note I had that I was like, you could swear on this podcast if you wanted to.
Yeah, true.
Man, I've been trying to be so good.
Oh, no. We're an explicit podcast. You could have sworn
No,
the whole time.
I-
You can make up for it. I'm kidding.
I know that was the hard thing when I like was at my PR. So I had like a media event last week, and in my speech I talked about like painting my nudes during COVID, and my PR team was like, okay, so media training, that would be good.
No, but I think there's something like,
I was like, it was my butt, and I put like glitter on the thong.
But,
It was
like,
so cute.
I think there's something so like refreshing about like you even being like, yeah, I'm a business owner that might not be able to name like every single stat and number of my business. Like I think that just makes you so much more like authentic and approachable, and then like someone to root for. Like people like,
Yeah.
like I don't need another like corporate like tech bro who like thinks he's the smartest person in the room to like tell me what I should be buying or not. Like I want people that like feel like my friend that I can just have a conversation
and you're
with.
dedicated to solving a problem that you had and
Exactly.
experienced and wanted to share with other people.
We gotta go to the beach. We gotta go to Woodbine and just like start thinking
What
of
are the
business
business
ideas.
ideas?
Yes, it's like
Yeah.
beautiful shores of Woodbine.
Apparently, so if you want to become an
magical
entrepreneur,
waters.
go to Woodbine Beach. There's
Sponsored
magical
by
water.
Woodbine
You
Beach.
literally go to Woodbine Beach.
Oh
The
my
magical waters
God.
will just like gift you an idea. Thank you so much for coming on Talking Fast.
No,
I
this
really
was
appreciate
lovely.
it. Good. I'm so
Fun to
excited.
talk.
Make sure. So first, actually plug the business. Tell everyone where they can find you.
Okay, so you can find us on shop.solkyst on Instagram and TikTok, and that's SOLKYST, and solkyst.ca for website.
And definitely, they'd be great Christmas presents, especially.
Definitely. And we'll have more information on the pop-up we're doing in Toronto if you're a local listener.
Which most of them are, so they should all go. No, like, definitely try them on because like I feel like a bad bitch in mine. So that's
Yes.
the best. It's the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Talking Fast. Every single Wednesday, you can find us here. Like, comment, subscribe. Please give us 5-star reviews, especially on Apple and Spotify. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next Wednesday. Bye.